Here we go. Behind you. The joke's on you. This will be fun. Now you see me. Now you don't.
Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'll show you how to play Shaco. So we want to be starting with the W here because that is the main ability that we use to clear the camps with. Those are the boxes that will deal AoE damage and also fear the target. And you want to start placing 2 of these at the Raptor camp, and you want to place the first one when the timer hits 50 seconds. Then you're going to place another one right next to it. And then you're going to place the third one. You have to place it exactly as I do, because what happens here is that the boxes will take care of almost all of the raptors, but the biggest one will survive with 1 HP, like really low HP, so you can just use 1 auto attack to finish it off with. So you're pretty much doing 2 camps at the same time. So once this big raptor is super low HP, then you simply just walk up to it and last hit it, and that way you get level 2. Of course, have your botline Lishu at the red buff. Now it's low HP, walk up, auto attack, you get level 2 right here. And then you can queue over to the Crux, place a box here, and make sure that you abuse his passive. So when you damage targets from behind, then you deal bonus damage. Backstab, so you want to backstab as much as possible. Get all of these medium-sized Crux to low HP, and then you place a box and then you queue out. Because your box will take care of them. So you try to be efficient with the time, and that way you hit level 3. At this point you have to decide if you want to be full clearing or you want to be ganking. If you want to be ganking, then you take E level 3, but if you want to clear faster, then you take another point in your W, because that is your main jungle clearing tool. Make sure to backstab as much as possible, guys. It's really important because you deal a lot more damage. You also get this different sound effect when you backstab, so you know if you do it or not. Same thing right here. So I like to go for the blue buff, and then I go straight to the Skull Crab. The thing is, guys, your W will get rid of the Skull Crab shield. So use that first, because it counts as hard CC for it. So place it down before it spawns, and that way it gets rid of the shield. Then I usually look for a gank. I would have went topside right now, but Zed got it seems, so that's fine. At this point, look for a gank. I can go for Kha'Zix here. He's gonna come for the Skull Crab, so just gonna place a box. It will fear him, so it's like temporary CC. And remember, guys, while your E is off cooldown, then your basic attacks will slow. So you want to basic attack as much as possible first, and then you use your E at the end. Because when it's on cooldown, then your auto attacks won't slow anymore. And when you use that Q for the invisibility, then remember that people can see this smoke if you're close enough. So in order to surprise people, you want to make sure that you stay further away so they don't see it coming. And the thing is, while you're in that Q invisibility, when you place that W box, they won't be able to see you completely. But if you auto attack or use your E, then your stealth will break, okay? So that's very important to know. Your ultimate will also not break the stealth, but your auto attacks and your E will. When you gank people, make sure that your box is up, you Q, and then you try to cut off their escape path by putting a box behind them towards the direction they will be escaping towards, so it can CC them. And then you auto attack them as much as possible, because while your E is up, then your basic attacks will slow. He does not have flash up, he used it last fight, so that should be free for us. Nice. And your Q, guys, if you backstab in their Q, then it's going to crit, so your Q also empowers your damage. So we want to go for the Eclipse first. That's like the best 80 mythic item on Shaco at the moment. Gives you pretty much everything you need, and do not buy Duskblade, it is pretty awful at this point. Eclipse is so much better, and you also get free armor pen, which is very useful, especially because we are going for the crit build. So we definitely need the armor pen. People will be building armor. Just place a box here, wait for him to come, get that last hit, and that's pretty free. So with Shaco, because you have that Q, then of course you have very unique ganking pass. It's very hard to ward against you, so make sure that you abuse that. Like, try to gank from unique angles and don't just go from the brushes, because it's typically warded. Oh, he's getting really low HP top, but we saw Kha'Zix topside, so we have to punish him. So we're gonna take the Drake right here. So your ultimate, guys, spawns another clone that can auto attack for you. It cannot use any of your abilities. It will auto attack though. And once it explodes or someone kills it, then it's going to deal a decent amount of damage, and then it will also spawn boxes. So there are many different ways you can use it. You can use it to take down objectives much faster. But also when you press your ultimate, then you briefly disappear, right? So you can also use that to dodge key abilities, skill shots and such. You can also use it to try to trick people and try to make them chase the wrong target so you can escape. So there are a lot of different ways you can use it. Now, especially against the Kha'Zix, that ultimate is actually really good, because he relies on isolating targets in order to get the maximum amount of damage off. And because of your ultimate, then he won't really be able to do it, right? Because you can just have your clone stick right next to you, and then he'll not get his passive. So it's really good against something like a Kha'Zix. And it does deal magic damage though, so if you're playing AP Shaco, then that ultimate is going to deal a ton of damage once it explodes. But yeah, you can control it, and it can auto attack, that will deal damage, so it's not like LeBlanc's passive clone. Go ahead and take the red buff. We definitely want to be ganking as much as possible, and the thing is, this champ actually scales pretty well. Something a lot of people underestimate. He's like a super mobile assassin in the late game. You have a ton of damage, you also have that crit from your Q, guys, so you're gonna one-shot squishes later on in the game. You can look to get a kill on Yone here. If he stays, looks like this is warded though, because he's backing off, so. And my Oracle Lens isn't quite ready yet, so I will not be able to scout out the vision. Got some gold from the Tower Blade though. And we also have a lot of gold, so we definitely need to start basing soon as well. But yeah, when you try to gank as Shaco, you want to be flanking. And you also want to keep in mind the movement abilities they have, and then make sure that you use that box to cut off their escape path. Don't just place it right on top of them. Place it towards the direction they'll be escaping towards, so they end up flashing or dashing into the box, and then they get feared, right? So They get hit by the CC, and this is also another way you can use your ultimate. When you want to dive people, you let your clone go in first so it tanks the tower damage. And then you can go in. So there are a lot of different ways you can use that ultimate. So it does make this champion pretty versatile when it comes to that. And of course taking Scuttle is pretty easy because the W will break the shield, so... And because you get to backstab it all the time because it always runs away from you, so... Super easy to take Scuttle Crabs. We can go top side here, he's getting TP'd on. He just needs to walk down to us here. We do have Ignite up so we can deny his healing. Nice, as you can see I try to use my E as late as possible because I really want to abuse the fact that we get slows on our basic attacks. One more important thing guys is that you want to start out by putting 3 points into your W and then you want to max out your E. You want to have some points into W because that is your main tool for clearing out the jungle camp, so you want to make sure that it still stays relevant damage wise, otherwise you will have a really hard time clearing camps such as the raptors, the crocs, the wolves, any camp where there are multiple enemies. So yeah, just 3 points into W is enough and then you proceed towards maxing out your E first, okay? Backstab as much as possible, a lot of bonus damage guys. Of course your E also has enhanced effects when you hit escaping targets with it. When you backstab people with it. Nice, we can go ahead and recall here, so we have a ton of gold, so we will be able to purchase the first mythic item, the Eclipse. And we also get Berserkers and a longsword and a control board right now, so this is a perfect base right now. This is a big power spike. We have the mythic item, we have tier 2 boots. Just looking to fight people at the moment. I'm not sure what that was. He tanked way too much damage, but guess what it is. We can also go for the dragon because we once again see Kha'Zix in the top side of the map, so punish that. Oh, nice ultimate by Lux, okay. Now, when you see enemy junglers on the opposite side, then make sure that you deny them something on the other side, whether it is a dragon, the jungle camps, the skull crab and so on. Make sure that they get punished for showing themselves and being on the wrong side of the map. Also, when you want to do the Drake, do not place your box first guys, because when the Drake takes off, then it's going to push your box away, so it gets out of damage range. So place your box after the dragon is already in there, because that way it will not push it away anymore. If you place it at the start before it jumps up, then the box would just get pushed out of range and then it won't really do anything. It's just gonna stay there and be useless. Team is doing pretty good. It's kind of surprising, doesn't happen that often. Yes, it is one of those games, but I'll take it though. I'm gonna go bot side here to counter gank. I'm always looking to flank guys, I'm not going in from the front. Oh nice, and he halted the clone, so he's gonna get feared and we're gonna get another kill on Pyke. Yeah, there are so many different ways you can use that ultimate, and that's a part of what makes it so fun to play Shaco. Because he's so versatile. Alright, no camps up. You can look for a gank on Yone. Okay, he's not getting away. He has 0 mobility. This champ, he needs his ultimate to do anything, but Zed is also flanking, so he should be dead actually. Nice. I got that crit as well from that Q backstab, so that's perfect. Now the next item we will be purchasing most of the time, Essence Reaver, because it gives a ton of burst damage as well because you have that Sheen, but also you'll never run out of mana because of its passive, so it's very good to have. Gives a ton of damage and at the same time also make sure that you don't run out of mana, and that is very crucial because you will be spamming your abilities in fights. So you're not as reliant on blue buff once you have that Essence Reaver, so that's why pretty much every top Shaco player likes to build that item second. There's no way he's making it out. Of course, remember that your Q can be used to hop over walls with as well. And Kha'Zix will never have any isolation damage onto us as long as we have that clone up, so Shaco does work quite well into this matchup, but this matchup really depends on who gets to jump in and deal damage first, because they're both assassins, so whoever gets to burst down first will usually win it. So do the blue buff here, and then we can probably look to recall. Sitting on a lot of gold again. As I said earlier on, this is the crit Shaco. We'll still be going for the assassin mythic item though here, because it is the best one on AD Shaco, the most consistent one. Then you build crit items, guys, so you actually scale really well towards the later stages. So now we also get Buildy Haste, which is another really useful stat, and the next item will be the Navori. So every single time we crit someone, then the cooldowns of our basic abilities will be reduced once we have that Navori item. So we'll be able to use that Q much more often. We can go in for Darius here. I queued out of vision of the minion, so he doesn't have enough time to react. Yo, that's pretty awesome. So many different ways you can use his abilities. The most important thing is that you try to be creative. Always come in from paths that the opponent doesn't expect. Also, the champs and compositions you want to pick Shaco into, of course he is an assassin, so pushy champs is obviously the best for him, so you can assassinate people and get out again. Never pick Shaco into champs like a Nunu, Rek'Sai, because Rek'Sai passive will always see where you are even if you are invisible, so it's easy to spot you out. So basically, when they group with a Rek'Sai, then they will always know where you are, right? So that's obviously a hard counter. Same goes for Nidalee, because she has true sight, so if she hits you, then you will also be visible even though you go into stealth. And then we have something like a Rengar, so it's not as bad as the other matchups, but it's also a really big counter pick because Rengar's ultimate will also reveal you. The difference though is that he's just gonna one-shot you the moment he see you. But there's counterplay to his ultimate, and it all depends how good you are at reacting and your timing with the ultimate, with your own ultimate, because you can use that brief moment where you disappear to block out his damage pretty much. You just have to push to end the game here, guys. It is pretty much GG's at this point. We are extremely fed, so it's very hard for them to come back into the game. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this early on, guys, but your Q is the real type of invisibility. There are different types of stealth in League, but he has the real invisibility. It means that control wards will not be able to spot you. Same goes for the sweeper. The thing is, if they activate the sweeper, then they can see that red mark on you. They will know where you are, but they will not be able to target you until you are out of stealth. So it's true invisibility, unlike something like an Evelynn, because once she's in stealth, then things like a control ward will still be able to spot her out. And it is not the same for Shaco, so do not be scared of queuing into an area that is warded by a control ward, because it will not spot you. But yeah, if you don't snowball this hard, it does happen though. A lot of games where you just snowball out of control, mostly because Shaco is so OP right now and he's an assassin, so once he gets the lead he just pops in, one-shots people and then pops out again. But obviously an assassin with a huge lead is going to deal a ridiculous amount of damage that squishy champions will not be able to match or survive. If you do get ahead, then you will find yourself getting a ton of kills, and it does become really fun to play these champs once you know how to get yourself ahead, find those assassinations. Really want to end this game here. There's nothing bot side anymore. Mid lane inhibitor is up. So since the bot lane inhibitor is down, then obviously we do not want to go bottom side anymore. We do not get to buy Navori Quickblade this game here. It's really fun to use because it reduces the cooldown of your basic abilities. Yeah, this is how to play Shaco. Hope this was useful, and as always, thank you so much for watching guys, and see you all in the next video.